Hello, Brother Farouk. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
To be in these places at the time that. So yeah, I'm in the right place at the right time.
Hear what happened? I told you the Jamaican accent was gonna come out. I'd love to be able to name all the bands, and I can't. But I know I'm gonna miss.
You've been called selfless. You've been called kind, loving, all kinds of stuff. We know you're passionate about. Talk about your little 10-month-old son.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Your pride and joy.
I love my son. His name's Jawari, and he was born on Christmas Day. He's
what? Welcome to another edition of PEP Talk. I'm your host, Rosie Peppy Parke, and today's guest is a married couple, which is kind of new for us because normally we're talking to one of the significant others. But tonight we're joined by Eric and Tamar Goodson of Goodsons Enterprise. And we're just going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the marriage of these two, both in the real sense of a marriage and as well as the business marriage that you two have formed. So thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really nice to meet you two.
Thank you.
And I know both of you have Jamaican roots. So, I'm keyed into that because I'm a Jamaican too. So, Eric.
Yes.
You were born here?
No, I was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica.
You were born in Mobay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you left Jamaica pretty early?
Yes, at 1 year old.
You were one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're American. You really grew up in the States, right?
Pretty much.
And you don't have any yachty talk. You don't talk patois?
Nah,
you have to if your wife is Jamaican.
He understands it quite well, though.
He understands it quite well.
I understand it very well.
And Tamar, you came here when?
Age 14.
Okay, so you've been here a while. You've spent enough years in Jamaica to be still a part of the whole Jamaican experience, and you talk and so he understands. So tell me a little bit about Goodsons Enterprise.
Well, Goodsons Enterprise is a multifunction corporation, and what we do, we empower people beyond measure. That's our whole concentration, and we do that through different manners and through different business entities, and to supply or equip individuals to be more in control of their own destinies.
Right.
So that's Goodsons Enterprise.
Okay, and when was the company formed?
The company was formed in 2005. I graduated college 2003.
Okay.
And just like every college graduate, you out and you trying to find a job, and somebody telling you you don't have enough experience to do this and that. So I was sitting in the room one day, and I just thought about, what can I do? And I value my name.
Right.
So I said, why not use it? It's a name that it can go on for generations, and if I can be that lead person to create that destiny or that legacy for our generation, that's what I would do.
Okay, and so when you initially started the business in 2005, what was the product offering? What were you offering as a business person?
The funny thing is, I didn't even have a product at that time. It was
just a name, right?
It was just a name, and it was divine. It was just a voice. It was a calling, and I kind of ran with it, not knowing where it was going to end up being.
Right.
The first and foremost thing was Just Comedy magazine. I was just always watching comedy and comedy movies and. Just entertaining my friends and family, just kind of being humorous. Not a comedian, but I can get a couple jokes or laugh at the table. I mean, but I just love comedy, and I saw the healing in laughter, and that's where we got Laughter Lasts a Lifetime, which is Comedy Magazine. Okay,
and I know this is now a business that's both of you are involved in, and you have some employees. Tell me about how you came into the business.
Well, when we got married, or when we first met, that was one of the attractions. Was that this is a fine young man who is very ambitious. I was looking for that. You talk to some of these young men and you couldn't get anything out of them. And we met over the phones, and that was one of the things that we spoke about was, what was he doing? And he spoke to me about Just Comedy, and I was like, wow, I'm doing my thing too. I have my company, and that was one of the drawing points. When we got together. We were like, we have so many things. I'm always thinking about something. I'm always jotting something down. And that's what my husband said, Goodsons Enterprise. We got together and we care about people. And he was saying the same thing as I was saying, empowering people, not just employees, but empowering them beyond measure. And that's when we're like, Goodsons Enterprise is the mother company for all these innovative services. And that's how we
And
came
so
together.
you were already married to him, so using your married name, no brainer,
Right.
because you're both Goodsons at
Exactly.
but it was called Goodsons before.
Before,
And you're okay with it being a good
Yes,
wife, of
definitely.
course. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the different skill sets that you each bring to it to complement each other under these enterprises that you have. You, Eric, what is your skill set?
Well, first and foremost, I was a teacher.
Okay.
I taught math, middle school math in Washington, D.C. area. And then I went on and got my master's in mathematics.
Wow. So
And that's
you're
where Math and More came from.
math and more. So you're like very, very good with numbers.
You can
Yes.
say so.
Very
I can say
meticulous.
so. A master's in mathematics. Okay.
Meticulous.
And he's meticulous. Okay. So so you did, so there's one arm of the business that's called, what is it called?
Math and More Educational Consultant.
Okay.
And what we do, my business partner and I, we go into different organizations, whether it's a school or community center, wherever, and we teach math. We either teach it
okay.
to the teachers who teach math and trying to find innovative ways to teach to our youth today to try to grab their attention.
Right.
And not only that, we have also programs that we do to remove that anxiety from a lot of people who find math to be a problem. What we find out over the years and over our studies that it's not really a problem. It's just an anxiety.
It's not really a problem.
Right.
Like a math problem.
Right, like a math problem. It's just a fear of the numbers. And
Yeah.
once we get them past that, it becomes
no-brainer.
so easy.
Right. So, I mean, I know a lot of people hide away from those quantitative subjects, math and stuff. And sometimes when they start off earlier in life, they're good. They can do the 1, 2, 3, and the
Right.
subtraction and division. And when it comes on to like high school math, algebra, and all of that stuff, trigonometry, then it starts getting really, really, really challenging. And people think that, why do I need to know all this math when all I need to know is how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide? How do you let the people who you teach understand how important math is, especially in the business world?
Right. What we do is, and we keep everything very simple, and that's been, I believe, the key to the success for Math and More. We just show them that, look, it's about thinking deeper about the problem. Yes, everything, we want everything microwave in our society, the 1, 2, 3, and so forth. But when we're faced with these issues and we translate it into life, when you're faced with these issues in life, what do? What is your thought process? What is the mindset? And that's where we focus on, that mindset piece and renewing it.
Okay, great. So we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to talk to the other half of the business and about her skill sets and what she brings to Goodson Enterprises. Stay with us. We will be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, my guests today are Eric and Tamar Goodson of Goodson Enterprises. And prior to the break, we were talking to Eric about the strong points he brings to the business, having a master's in mathematics, and what he does with Math and More. And now we're going to talk to the lady in the marriage about the skill set that you brought into the business. Tell me a little bit about PPC?
PPC, yes. PPC is a mortgage processing company. And basically what we do with PPC is anything has to do with financing. If it's just consulting, a new home buyer, or you need a modification, anything that if you just have questions or whatever the case is, anything with mortgage processing is what I do with PPC.
And so prior to being a part of the business, what was your background working in the mortgage industry?
I'm a former underwriter.
Okay.
So worked from inside, the bank. Then I left the inside of the bank. I just got bored with that, sitting in the office all day. Started doing with the brokers. Got bored one day. I really did. I really liked my job. But I realized that there was no growth for me.
Right.
I always tried to learn more, and I guess they felt threatened by the fact that I wanted to learn more, and so I just quit.
You just quit?
Yes, my mom thought I was crazy, but I just quit. I realized my value, and I realized no one, and I told myself no one is going to keep me down.
Right.
Okay, so I I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I decided to just quit, and I went home, and I just went back home to my mom. It was a very humbling situation, but I did, and laid on my bed and looked up into the heavens and say, Lord, help me. Give me a witty idea to make a company or do something. And that's when he gave me PPC, and that's where PPC started.
Wow. So you actually had PPC prior to getting married to Eric?
Yes. Started in New York.
Okay, and so there are other stuff that you do in your company. I think you have like 6 arms of a company. We spoke about math, and we spoke about PPC, and I know that there's another one you do together. But prior to that, you know, a lot of couples get together, and you know, the man has this idea for his future, and the woman has this idea for her future, and it's almost, it's like they can't get together to work towards one particular end. It's a challenge for a lot of couples who come in and think, okay, yeah, we're going to do this together. Talk about some of the challenges you've had working together in a new marriage and also in a new business enterprise. You see each other every day. Tell me a little bit how that works for you.
Well, when we got married, it was funny because we met in like January and got married like October the same year. And we had our son right after that, not even almost a little over a year after that. And I just graduated with my master's.
Wow.
Right.
So, you know, we got a house, like everything happened all at one time, like the same year.
Crazy.
But I believe what helped us is that we have a strong root in the Word of God. Anytime we got into any type of disagreement or we felt as though we were drifting away from one another, we always came back to what God said. And even though we did have our own businesses before we met each other, and Goodsons Enterprise was founded prior to that, you know, it was a humbling, a humble moment for each one of us to say, okay, what does God want us to do first?
Right.
And, you know, because we were both well into our, you know, our own ventures, but it was separate.
Right.
It wasn't never together at that one time.
Okay.
So once we placed everything on the table, just like it is here, and we just put it in God's hands, you say, okay, what do you want us to do first?
And that's where Outlet came in.
Okay.
That's where, you know, I went to my husband and I told him what God told me. And even though I was doing PPC and he was doing Just Comedy, he humbled himself because he's very passionate about Just Comedy. And, you know, he said, okay, babe, let's just run with Outlet. And we just had our first fundraising event on November 6th. And we had Genuine come out and support us, and a group from New York called Faces, Maimonides Theater Network. They came out and support us. And that's where the joint venture came in. Under Goodsons.
So even though Goodson is both of your company together, the math portion and the PPC is still kind of separate. Is that what I'm getting?
It really is sort of separate because he has, you know, he really does. We really don't do anything.
So
with
you guys don't really interfere in each
no.
other's business, so to speak. It just falls under a business that you have together, an umbrella company.
Right.
Exactly.
Excellent. But the outlet is like a combination.
Yes.
Right.
That's great.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about Outlet. What is the purpose of Outlet? What do you do with Outlet?
Outlet is an intervention improv theater group for teens. And what we do, we use the arts and with improvisational theater as a form of group therapy. And we approach the real issues that our teens are going through, and we provide that outlet. We know a lot of the behaviors that we see from our teens are rooted from something deeper, something you know that's been going on probably since birth. And just humbling ourselves again and just getting that divine instruction, you know, and what to do next. Again, I work with kids all day. I work in the school. I'm an assistant principal in DC now. So it's like I deal with the behavior from the children, and you know, just interacting with them and just providing different forms of intervention is like, okay, we need to do something different outside of what we're doing in the schools. So that's where Outlet comes from. And you know, we talk about the issues that, you know, we're going through, from drug abuse, sex abuse, STDs. I mean, everything. I mean, it's not, you know, it's just an open, loving environment that we create for teenagers. And we bless them with the gift that, you know, we all have, which is just to listen.
Just to listen. They're embraced. It's a just free environment. They let it rip. for most part, you know, if a child is speaking to their mom or to a counselor or someone, they can't really let it out because they still have to condition the verbiage that comes out without you just let it rip.
So are you guys trained in like social work, or are you trained to deal with some of the issues that some of these kids have? Because most time when you're dealing with issues such as that, you need a trained social worker or a real counselor.
Right.
So are you trained in that, or do you have other people who come in and help you to?
Yes, we have a board of advisors.
Okay.
And they we have the social worker. We have from social worker to psychiatrists, to lawyers, to pediatricians on our board, and so we refer them over when we realize this is not just mere listening.
Yeah.
It's deeper than this.
It's deeper than that.
Yes.
So there's that referral process.
Definitely.
Okay, so question of the day. I know you have children. You told me you have a son.
Yes.
Who is, how old is your son?
2.
And you have a 3-week-old.
That's
Yes.
right.
child. Okay, so we're talking about juggling work-life balance, because you have this great company that have other sub-companies under it, where you specialize in some of it, she does, and you're still an assistant principal now?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. How do you balance all of that?
Wow.
Wow. That's
It's just a day-to-day, minute-to-minute type of thing.
yes.
It really is.
It really is. And I mean, communication is huge.
That's true.
I mean, from sun up to sundown, you know, it's just a constant communication
big.
and just agreeing on things. You know, once we know the power of agreement with married couples, you know, and there's great power in it. You know, when you can
Yes.
come to one agreement, even though, you know, sometimes you might say, hey, look, I wanted to do this at this moment, but you know, your wife may be saying something different. You know, even sometimes you have to say, okay, let's just do that, and it might not take that long.
Right,
So you
right.
might have that time to do what you wanted to do as well, or you might have to do it next week. But it's just the power in there. It's a blessing that comes out of just submitting to one another. Time management is always going to be a process. I mean, we've been up for about the past 3 weeks. I don't even know. I mean, I don't feel tired,
Right.
but we up at night, and you know, and
With a
it's
baby.
we do it as a team. I mean, I don't leave her with the baby. You know, we're
That's
up. Even if I'm sitting in the chair on the other side like this, you know, while she's rocking, or we just switch when she gets tired. You know, we just have to do everything as a team because we know what we've been called to do.
And I know you talk a lot about God and belief and divinity. So, I mean, are you like active Christians? Like, because you talk about that a lot, you know, more than just like, okay, let's put it in God's hands. It sounds like you're deep rooted in, you know, Christian living. Do you
Right.
do the whole go to church thing? And
We really
that
do
kind
the
of
whole
stuff?
go to church thing, and it gets kind of touchy when you talk about stuff like this, because I've been the traditional Christian. You know, I've been where I have to be in church, blah, 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 but now it's more relationship.
Okay.
Now it's if I miss church, or you know, if something happened, I'm not killing myself because it's
Right.
not tradition. It's a relationship. It's like God, you know, it's wisdom. You know, talking to God, and so we do the church thing definitely. Because you still need the word. You still need to go because that's what He tells you to do. But it's more relationship now.
Yes.
Would you agree, babe?
Yes, definitely. I mean, you need it. It's a necessity for us, and like my wife just said, it's not traditional. It's our way of life. That's just who we are.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more. Just touch on some of the other enterprises that you have under Goodson Enterprises. You spoke about Just Comedy. You spoke about the math. You spoke about PPS and Outlet. I think you have a cleaning company. You have some other stuff going on.
Yes. We just merged. Is my brother. He's been cleaning carpets in the city for the past 20 years. So he merged under the umbrella of Goodsons Enterprises, called Rogers Carpet Cleaning Services, and we also do house cleaning with that as well. So we just bringing all the family in, and you're like, look, we have a way, you know, just come on and we can do this together. And we just empowering each other, you know, beyond the measures of where you were. You know, we will take that 100 steps further.
Okay, and tell me again, who came up with your tagline, empowering people beyond measure? Whose idea was
That
that?
was definitely my husband. And when I heard it, when he told me at first, I was like, that rocks. Come on, yes, I'm on board. So that
on
was
board.
just like no brainer for us. Yes.
So there was no need to
No
change anything because
need,
you're all
no
speaking
need.
the same language.
Exactly.
All right, so one final question. What can we expect from Goodsons Enterprises going forward?
We can expect to see a multi-trillion corporation
Oh.
that is worldwide,
That's
I mean, we're here to, again, empower people beyond measures. And that's through anything, whether it's through laughter, whether it's through education from math and more, whether it's just through, mental health, through outlet, or whether it's just, cleaning your house.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Everybody needs that, right?
Everything. We're not leaving anything on the table. I remember just selling, when I got out of college, I sold windows. So I went to everybody's house. But the one thing I walked away with during my training, he was like, don't leave anything on the table. So when we go in and we're renewing these people's minds and we're saving their lives and their souls, and we're saying, look, we're not leaving anything on the table.
And so, Mrs. Goodson,
Yes.
I mean, you obviously have a good man here. You seem very
Yes.
comfy, living your dream,
Right.
and you're living it with your husband.
Right.
That must be a very wonderful thing for you. What is something that you will say to some of the females who have lost hope just because they cannot find a mate who they can connect with,
Right.
both on a family level and on a business level?
I'm gonna say something that's, I think, if you're very serious about this, you'll take it in love, and because I'm giving it to you in love. You have to show yourself friendly to find a friend. So if you need that, he's still out there. It's still hope, but you have to show yourself friendly. And what I mean by that is, if you're looking for that person, you have to take the patience. It takes patience. He's not gonna just come overnight. All of that is all TV. It's still work. You still have to work. It's still work, and it's still possible. So don't give up. Don't give up hope.
Amen.
Well, there you have it. This was the Goodsons, and they're from Goodsons Enterprise, and it was my pleasure speaking to both of you. The love that you have for each other is very, very obvious. I just wanted to thank you for being a guest on Pep Talk, and I look forward to seeing the next business venture that you have coming up, because I know the mind is always clicking, right?
Yes.
And how can they reach you if they'd like to reach you?
You can visit our website at Goodsons Enterprise. That is GOODSONSENTERPRISE.com.
There you have it.
Thank you.
That was our show for today. Stay tuned for more Pep Talk.